Welcome to New Knives, everybody. Today is April 8th, 2024, and we have a whole bunch of new knives, and I'm excited about several of these. The first knife on the table is the Viper Knives Handy. It's got a very sturdy snap on there. This one has a CPM MagnaCut blade, and this handle that looks a little bit different. Oftentimes with fixed blades, you'll get a very neutral handle profile, but this one, it really wants to lock in, and I love that they added this little section here right above your pinky. It gives you just a little bit of added security on your fourth finger. So if you guys have ever used a 3-finger knife, when you hold it like that, you realize how much of that pinky is where you want to be holding the knife. You'll miss it when you don't have it. And here, it's just a love letter to that fourth finger. Very nice indeed. This one is a fun knife, a small knife, but it wants to go to work. And it comes with this leather sheath, which has this big section here to protect the handle. So if you are like me and perhaps carry a little extra weight, it'll fold over and it'll be on leather instead of on steel, which could be nice. Nice indeed. However, if you prefer otherwise, there is a Kydex version of this that is coming very soon. So very nicely done, Viper knives. And that snaps do break in with time, so don't worry too much about that one being tight. I'd rather it be tight now than perfect now. That'll way break in time, and that leather will patina nicely as well. But man, is that not just an interesting looking knife? You put it in the hand, you just want to cut with it. Very, very good. I'm sorry, I have a thing for the Italian fixed blades. They are just so wonderful, and my favorite feature is that crown spine on them. It makes it so it's really comfortable in your thumb, like if you grab it like this, although I usually go for the hammer grip, but a very comfortable knife all the way around. And then sort of this ribbed micarta handle. That'll darken with time, man. Very well done. All right, that one goes for $169.95 at bladehq.com, and those Kydex sheath options are coming soon, so make sure you're on the wish list for those. I'm not sure exactly when they'll be here, but they should be here soon. Next up, we have the Null Knives Raikou. So for you Pokemon fans out there, this one is named after the electric dog. I believe the other dogs are Entei and Suicune. So if you're into Pokemon, you know that you have to chase those all over the map. And this one you shouldn't have to. You can just find it at bladehq.com. However, we do have a limited supply of these in traditional legendary fashion, I suppose. But Null Knives, let me tell you about Null Knives for a minute. These things are just so well designed in every single way. So this one has this little flick tab here, so you can flick it open very easily. It has a thumb stud that's just a little bit oversized with a subtle ramp here and then jimping, so it's not going to chew your thumb up or pull your thumbnail away from your thumb like some do. Just launches open at the perfect angle to the pivot here. That angle is what gives you the launch. If it's too far out, it's going to want to ride. If it's too far in, it's going to want to snap too hard and it's going to be hard to push. But this one is just the perfect angle for an effortless, easy snap open. CPM S90V blade with this beautiful satin finish, and then a nice Wharncliffe reverse Tonto-esque blade. Gonna give you nice everyday carry performance, titanium handle, bronze accents. And my favorite thing about these Null knives is this pivot that has this knurling on it. A lot of people like a pinch grip like this, and if you hold it in a pinch grip, it's easy to hold on if there's something to hold on to. And this one, I think they just found the perfect place to put it. Sometimes on folders, they'll just leave it smooth or they'll just round it and put a collar on it. But this time they added a little bit of extra function. It's not just a part, it's a thing in the knife that makes it easier to use. Very nice indeed. Love the Raikou, love the Pokemon reference. It's a great knife indeed. These are a little spendy, they go for $3.45, and we have very limited supply. So when you see these, act fast. Next up, we have the Dogwood Customs Echo 3. So Theo told me about these. He's like, George, you ever seen those Dogwood Customs? And I'm like, I haven't. And I checked them out. I'm in love, man. So first of all, this micarta handle. It's very nicely polished, except here where, it kind of functions like an inlay where it's knurled, but it'll still get wet and be grippy like micarta, but then it has a texture that reminds me of G10. Very, very nicely done. CPM S35 VN blade, made in the USA with this very nice leather sheath. What I like about this leather sheath is they gave you the full rectangular profile and then the 2 holes here. Sometimes leather sheaths get a little floppy, especially when you're hiking in something, and you might want to tie it to your thigh to make sure that it stays where it wants to be. And I like that we have 2 circles here to do it, so that way it doesn't want to twist when it's tied down. I don't know. I'm a bit of a sheath snob, but I think they did a very good job with this one. USA made, goes for $1.99, so not a bad price either. Next up, from Ocaso Knives, we have the Mini Seaton. And this one has this carbon fiber handle, which I just think they did a good job with. I'm sorry, I'm on all this good job stuff today. They milled it out of this forged carbon fiber, I guess. So they'll take the shreds of a carbon fiber and then they'll embed it in the knife, in a mold, and then they'll mill it out from there. And it gives you a really tight pattern that's light and strong like carbon fiber, but it doesn't have a grain, it doesn't split. It's just, wow. It gets more depth the more you look at it. I know some people even polish it. And this thing is super, super tiny, but you can still get that 4 fingers on there. See, you can loop your pinky right there, get your whole hand on. Man, it's super small, super light, but super usable as well. This is the Mini Seaton, goes for $112.49. Next up, from Flytanium, we have scales for the arcade. So you've seen the arcade before. It is their Shark Lock knife. Gets the job done very nicely. The first non-Demco to have it, and it came with aluminum scales, but now they have titanium scales. So Flytanium sort of cut their teeth out in the knife world by making aftermarket parts for popular knives, like the Benchmade Bug Out, the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, all of these. And they made a lot of them, and I thought it was kind of funny that when they came out with the arcade, they only had inlay swaps, and I'm like, that doesn't seem very Flytanium of them, but don't worry, these were in the works all along, apparently, because now we have aftermarket Flytanium scales for the Flytanium knife. So if you wanted to make your Flytanium arcade the most Flytanium thing to ever fly, then you got to get these. These come in this stonewashed titanium or in a DLC coated titanium. Very fun indeed. And you can get these at BladeHQ.com. And over at Flytanium, if you want to fancy anodized, they have their Modifly series. Man, Flytanium has really been stepping up their customization level, which is saying something because they were built on the backs of customization. Super fun indeed. And the last knife on the table is the LionSteel Skinny. Now I saw this one at SHOT Show and I'm like, that's cool. So for those of you who aren't aware, LionSteel is famous for making their solid knives, or as we like to call them, integrals. So I want you to look carefully. Do you see any break in this titanium handle? You don't see a single one, and that is because this whole handle is milled out of one piece of titanium. Then they have an inlay here with carbon fiber, and then just the pivot to hold on the knife, and this little screw to hold on the pocket clip. Other than that, this is just one piece. That gives you added strength, added reliability. It makes it a little bit harder to work on, but I personally think that that is just fine for the knowledge that I have. I'm not going to lose any functioning, like, structural piece of the knife because it's all just one piece of titanium. It's hard to do. It can be a little bit pricey to do because titanium billet is not especially cheap, but they did a good job here. And for $274.95, made in Italy, Magna Cut blade, like, I have zero complaints on this knife. Another thing I do like is for all of you European folks out there who deal with different knife laws in the United States, some people in, well, some countries in Europe do not allow for a one-handed opener. So you see here, there's a little Torx screw in the flipper here. You can pull the flipper off and make this a two-hand opening knife, which is kind of cool. And it can be two-hand opening, but you can also, if you really get in there, sometimes flick it open. LionSteel did a great job with this one. I hear rumors that there's an aluminum version coming out that's going to be even less expensive, and I'm looking forward to it. The Skinny's a cool knife indeed. Anyway, everybody, that is new knives for this week. You can find all of these knives and more at BladeHQ.com. And make sure that you're subscribed to BladeHQ because we have a special live video this upcoming Friday. We are doing a knife debate right here. So come in, join us in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. The debate topic is drop point versus Tonto. So do your research, build your case. We'd love to see you on Friday. Anyway, we'll see you next time.